See, they got the saws and that semi-nickel. And Siren.
Every year for Prep Day is the watching the demonstration for Jaws of Life, and we want to give everyone kind of time to make their way back toward the main stage. But we've got, I left my car parked in the red zone at the office yesterday, so they towed it out here, and they're going to tear this car apart. But it's a very crucial demonstration and very critical to the Sacramento Fire Department. It will describe to you exactly why they do this and what they're doing as they go through this process. Most of us never get to see this up close and personal, so we're going to get to see the Jaws of Life being demonstrated by the Sacramento Fire Department, and again, we'll step you through the process every step of the way, what they're doing and why they're doing it, and how they're staying safe while they're doing it. It's a great lesson for all of us. Make your way to the main stage, Jaws of Life demonstration coming up in the next couple of minutes.
Carries a water force, so they'll put a hose line on the ground just in case there is gas when it is an ignite.
Okay, but you might stabilize the car, you put some blocks behind the tires. What's the importance of stabilizing the vehicle? And you talk about, well, we're just going to take the hood off the car. Every car is different. You probably have to know a little about some of the different cars and vehicles and structurally what's under that hood. I mean, some maybe Jeeps, whatever, may have roll bars, maybe others may present some unique challenges to take off the hood.
Yeah, definitely. No car's the same. We have new electric cars, which pose a huge challenge to us because we don't see them, and they're fairly new on the market. I mean, I know they've been around about 10 years, but honestly, we don't get that many accidents with electric cars, so those batteries pose a big threat to us. So we do practice this a lot at junkyards. They're nice enough to allow us to tow in cars, so we get a feel for how cars are laid out and how to take them apart like we are right now.
The reason for starting with the hood, if there's a person in the car and you probably stabilize them, hopefully medically, if they're still in there, I would think you would start trying to get them out first, where you're starting with the hood. Is there a reason for that?
Well, let's start with the hood quick demonstration. Normally we would be going to the doors and working on getting the person out, but this is more, we're just doing it for our safety reasons. We want to show you guys how we can get a hood off pretty quick. But normally what would happen is we each have a role. So my role as captain is on the safety. I stand back and I see what's going on, I see the big picture, because when you're working with these tools, you're focused on your tool and what that tool is doing and how it's affecting the car. So the two guys, no, not much. So what they just did is there's two hinges on each hood. And all they did was they pitched a little bit to get a access space, and then they just
So we have a wonderful commute driving up Highway 50 every day to get to Cal OES. And this past week, one of our coworkers came in and said there was a pretty bad accident right in front of them. What do we as citizens need to know if we come across something like this? If you guys either are there or aren't there, what do we need to know?
So the biggest thing we ask is that if you see a car accident, obviously call 911 and get things started. But one of the hardest things we do is once the car accident has been reported, slows us down on getting there, and we have something called the golden hour. If we don't get a person out the golden hour, their chances of survival drop excessively. And so, and covering application with one of these tarps that you see on the ground. Usually we don't use it to put our equipment on, we use it to cover patients and protect them from glass or metal that might be flying.
But one direct hit took out, I thought, okay, it's going to make a big crack, and then you smash, get the whole window off. It was just one swing, and the whole window was gone.
Yeah, that's correct. The windows on the side on the driver's and the passenger doors, they're just quick glass like you have in your house that you shatter. Now, we'll show you the front. Totally different window. It's a laminated window that will not shatter like that. I know the movies all show them shattering and all, but you'll see when we break it, we have to actually chop through it and cut it because there's a piece of material in between the two layers of glass that actually holds the glass together and sticks the glass to that material so it won't go flying.
You talk about getting jump cars to practice on. How often do you and your guys practice this scenario?
You know, we have a lot of different exercise we need to practice. So cutting our cars, we probably do every 3 months.
I know this is a very simple question to ask. I know the answer is so key. When you roll up onto an accident like this and you see someone who is wearing a seatbelt as opposed to who is not wearing a seatbelt, can you talk about the difference?
Of what happens in a rollover or front-end collision, how easily without a seatbelt that you can be ejected from that vehicle.
Yeah, it's definitely an easy thing to do. We see it too often where just a seatbelt would have saved somebody's life. So now that it looks like we got all the windows taken, except for this one. Hang on. You want to take this window? So what we're going to do now is we're going to show you how we pop a door off. And I know it sounds like it's an easy thing to do by popping a door off, but depending on how the accident happened, how crumpled the car is, some doors are really difficult to pop off. This one will be really easy because there's no damage to that side. So what they did is they went at the fender well and they created a pressure point right there. They squeezed down on that, which caused a crease in the door. And that allows us to get our jaws of life or our spreaders in there and create a gap. And what we're trying to get to is the hinge in there. Once we get access to the hinge, they're going to switch over to use these cutters on the ground, and they're going to cut that hinge right off of there, which will allow the door to pop open.
And a lot of times in an accident, the way a car is crunched, the doors, even if maybe physically they don't have a lot of damage, they're not cut open. They are just wedged together, and the only way to get them open is with the jaws.
Definitely, yeah. So by using both tools together, we have one person on one on the other. They each work together just to find the best way to pop these things open because the cars on the up by the wheel is held on by hinge. On the back, your lock locks around something called a nader pin, which holds that. I mean, it is a solid pin that it takes a little bit of work for our cutters to cut through. So that's why we're going with the hinge first to make a pry point on that nader pin.
And all of these cutters operate off a relatively small generator. Again, is that an air compressor that's doing that? What are you generating to power the jaws?
So it's just hydraulic fluid inside our generator, and all these jaws, the cutters, the spreaders, jaws life, they're all just activated off a hydraulic oil, basically.
And has technology changed for you over the years? I remember years ago, maybe the first time I saw the jaws, like they were enormous. It seems like some of this equipment has gotten smaller, maybe even more effective for you.
Definitely the generators have gotten smaller and lighter. They used to take 2 people to carry. Now it's heavy, but we can get 1 person to carry. The hoses are becoming more manageable. The tools are becoming lighter. I mean, the tools before used to weigh over 80 pounds each. And for us to try and handle them is a difficult thing.
We talked about the importance of wearing seat belts and what that means for you guys when you roll up on the scene. I want to touch on another very important subject as well, alcohol-related accidents, what you guys see, and just the safety message that we all need to keep in mind.
Well, alcohol and cars don't mix. With this day and age, with Uber and Lyft, all those options out there, it just doesn't make sense that we still see a high rate of accidents caused by drunk drivers out there. And that's where a lot of the damage we've had in the last couple of years, runaway drivers from alcohol, being caused by alcohol. As you can see, they're getting the door off now. There's a lot of cables out there that they got to cut through, and now they're going to bend it open and go to the native pin.
So we do have a great group of people here watching this live, but I also want to give a shout out. We've got a lot of people watching us live on Facebook right now. You see the cameras moving around. We're broadcasting live on our Callaway's Facebook page. So for those of you who are watching us live on Facebook, I want to let you know that we are in Old Sacramento, kind of the north end of Old Sacramento. This is our 13th Annual Day of Preparedness. Great vendors down here today, great demonstrations as you were watching, and you are welcome to come down and join us. We'll be here until 2 o'clock. It is completely free, a great family fun event. Live face painting, live demonstrations. We've still got the river demonstration coming up. So for those of you watching us on Facebook, come down and join us in Old Sacramento until 2 o'clock. I'll let you get back to describing now what's happening.
Okay, so as you can see, getting a door off isn't easy, even with it not being crumpled up. It takes a little bit of work, precision. Those tools are big, and we're trying to create space to get to what we need to get to. Well, I mean, we'll see what they're doing over there. It's kind of hard, I'm guessing. But okay. So they're creating they're spreading the space to the nadir pin, which I was telling you guys about. They weren't able to get it by prying the door open from the other side if they didn't have the access, and that's something we run into once in a while. So we can't, when we show up, my job is to set a game plan, and I get these guys going on the first game plan, but then my job is start looking at the next couple of plans, the next couple of moves if the first one doesn't work.
We have a great moment. Let me remind you what's coming up next at noon right here on the main stage. We're going to have a kids dance for your life vest. So we're going to have kids come up on stage. Listen, you don't need to be a talented dancer. Trust me when I say that. You don't need to have any kind of talent. Just come up here and have some fun for a few minutes, and we'll be passing out life vests. The dart demonstration on the river will be happening at 12:30, so we'll ask you to go to the river for that. That'll be immediately followed by the Metro helicopter fire demo over the river. They will be sucking up water from the river and dropping that down, and then learn how to sandbag with the California Conservation Corps coming up at 12:15. All of that is coming up in the next few minutes.
All right, so we're going to take this door off so people on this guy's side can see what we're doing. We're doing it a different way. That one we attacked from the hinge side. This one we're attacking from the nadir pin side. So all they did
I
is
was wondering why the pinch on the door. We said that was to create a gap so they could get the spreader in there to pop that door open.
Exactly. And so what you can see what started happening, they're going at it now with the cutters to cut that nadir pin. He was starting to spread it, but the way a car's put together, they have sheet metal over solid steel pieces that go through to save people upon impact. So what happened was the outside sheet of metal started peeling off, and he saw that quick enough that he backed off and allowed the cutters to get in there, and now they got that door open. They'll cut the hinge off and take that door off, and then we'll move on to our next thing.
You really do have to appreciate the power of those. You said, well, we'll just cut the hinge off, but if you see the hinge on the door, I mean, that's a big piece of metal, and there's a couple of them at least.
Yeah, that hinge is a solid piece of steel, and these cutters just have an enormous amount of power.
And the cutter and the spreader, that's only one device you can switch between cutting and spreading?
No, so if you look on the blue hose, which firefighter Donahue's holding with the tip in the ground, that's our spreaders. The cutters are just a large pair of shears.
Very, very powerful.
Very powerful shears.
Pair of shears.
So as we're working in here, one of the things these guys are always conscious of and always watching is if we cut in the wrong spot, there's a chance that we could set off that airbag, which is right in the upper left part of that door, right above firefighter Sinette's shoulder. So we just are always conscious of that.
And so there's more than one airbag. It's not just coming out of the out of the glove box area or the steering wheel, but they can be on the sides. Some cars have multiple that you would probably need to watch out for.
Yeah, there's airbags everywhere now in these cars, which is a great thing for safety because it's really keeping the injuries to a minimum, but it's also a danger to us.
Well, it's an explosive force, right? It's not just a quick gust of air that inflates it, it's a boom. I mean, it's essentially an explosion.
Exactly. So now they've gotten the doors off. The next thing we're going to do is sometimes the car's crumpled, we have a hard time getting to the patient. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove the roof. We're just going to take it completely off. So they're going to work on what we call that front post they're cutting now is called the A post. The next post back is the B and then the C. So they're just going to work on it. We can cut it with the cutters right there. We can use a Sawzall. So A.O. Birmingham's using a Sawzall, just a standard one like you have at home, with a metal blade on it, and it'll cut right through that A post really fast.
There are times when you have to go through this process to get the person out of the car. So in other words, there would still be a person in the car during this point of the process?
Yeah, we wouldn't be doing this unless there was still a person in the car, because we go for the quickest way to get them out. So what we're doing is we're simulating that there was a front-end accident which caused the whole dashboard to crush down on the person's legs and pinch them in there so we can't get them out. So what we do first is we have to take the roof off. And what our next step after we get this roof off is we're going to go ahead and roll the dash with one of our rams, which you can see on there. And all a ram is just a hydraulic bar that pushes it out and lifts the dash right off of wherever it's crumpled down on. So, but the first step is we got to take the roof off so that it doesn't hold the dash when we want to lift it.
We've talked about two very important issues. Number one, wearing seatbelts. Number two, avoiding alcohol when you're driving. I'll let you discuss one other item that we see every day, and that's just speed and dangerous lane changes.
Yeah, not just speed and dangerous lane changes, but distracted driving. I mean, people on their cell phones, it's dangerous out there, and I know we all have the urge to look at that text or make that phone call, but with what we see on a daily basis with the accidents, I want to say the majority of those accidents are distracted drivers.
What's the device now then that they're using on what's really a structural support between the front door and the rear door? Maybe even like an interior, almost like a roll bar in there, but it's got to be a sturdy piece of metal, and it just crunched it. It looked like just cut right through it, what they're working on right now.
Yes. So what he's doing is he's using cutters, and he's cutting through the plastic, through the seatbelt, and through the main, what we call the B post, and it does away with it like it's, butter. And as you can see, we're having a little problem with our Sawzall, but that's everyday life. But we have backups to that. So if we were having this issue on an accident where we broke a blade or we had a malfunction, we have backups. So we have battery-powered ones, we have electric ones, and all we do instead of messing with it is we run right out to the truck, which is normally right up next to us, and we grab the different Sawzall, which runs off a battery, and we'd be done with this in no time flat.
This might even be a case where, because it was just front-end damage of this car, taking the doors off might actually be easier in a case like this than what you see when a car is more heavily damaged. That the supports and things are crunched, and it may be more difficult to get a proper angle on something in order to actually cut it and take it off. Yeah, so it's just hard to say. Sometimes when you get in an accident, your door's almost popped open, so it's really easy. All we do is put the spreaders in and it pops right up. Other times, it damages so bad that it's hard for us. We can't even get through a door in a speedy manner, so we may have to go to the door on the opposite side of where our patient is. And then at the same time, you're having to keep in mind the people who are on side, and sometimes that might be 4 or 5 people in a car like this. Stand across a serious piece of metal there. Wow.
Yeah, so he's going to smash that so that we can flip the car back over. Or I'm sorry, we can flip the hood back over on itself.
You're going to basically just take it, roll it back over on itself.
Yeah, so we've got the A post, the B post, and then that little piece in between the 2 windows in the back cut completely off. So once they pinch and finish the cuts on the other side, all they're going to do is the 3 of them or 2 of them will just flip that thing over and it'll still be attached, but it relieves the front dash so we can roll that dash right off of the person's legs.
Now, would you be administering either some kind of medicine treatment while the person's still in the car at this point, or is the goal to get them out before you even begin that?
So like I said, when we respond to these, we respond with an engine also, who comes with 4 people from the city of Sacramento also. What we do is, as soon as we can, we send one of our firefighters from the engine inside the car, and their job is to maintain safety on that person, watch what's going on with what we're doing outside to make sure it's not ill-affecting the person inside. And in the meantime, they can also start administering whatever treatment's necessary, whether it's just holding the neck stable and the back stable, or whether it's some of those big tools that some of them have never seen before. It's a lot of noise, and they are...
Oh, here it comes, just like I said.
Yeah.
Roll it back.
It's coming right up. It'll take a few of them.
So they can put some of their own muscle into that too as well. It's that, just grab that thing and bend it backward.
Yeah, sometimes it flips over real easy, sometimes it doesn't. So we just have to make a quick cut on this thing and it'll potentially flip over. Or we just remove it completely.
Hey, again, while we're watching, again, a reminder, coming up at noon, we're going to have the kids dance for your life jacket competition. That'll be here on the main stage. So as soon as this Jaws of Life demonstration is over, we'll move straight into the kids dance for your life jacket. Also, again, a reminder for any of the kids out there, free face painting. It is just toward the river stage. We've got free face painting going on until 2. We've got photos from this event that'll be on our Cal OES Flickr page, free for download. And then again, a reminder, the dart display and boat is behind the main stage. Great giveaways there as well. And if you want to kind of see how DART does all of their water rescues, they've got some great demonstrations there as well.
So is this really getting close to the end game? What you're trying to do here is to get that roof pulled back, and now you've got greater exposure to extract the people inside the vehicle?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, when we take a roof off, there's a reason behind this. We've got to get, number 1, in and get better access to the person, but number 2, that dash may be crushed down on the person's legs, which prevents us from removing the person from the car. So at this point now, we have a good access to the car. We can decide our next step, whether it's using the ramp, which they're going to grab right now, rolling the dash up off the person's legs, or we can maybe cut the seat out, which allows us to pull it back, which will give us access. But getting to the base of the seat is a difficult thing. So a lot of times we'll just cut we'll spread the dash and roll it right up off of the person's legs. So what he's doing now is he's cutting a relief cut. Because what we're going to do is push that dash, which has a lot of structural members in it, and we're going to push it up, straight up off the person's legs. So they have to cut that relief cut so it'll go up a little bit easier.
So for the kids Dance for Your Life Jacket competition, the winners will get life jackets. The runner-up gets a new convertible, slightly damaged. I'll just...
Some of you may be wondering why we're in all our firefighter gear when we're doing this. And the reason being is safety. We wear glasses because pieces of plastic, pieces of metal go flying off. We've done a demonstration where we cut a seat and it sent a piece of metal flying probably 100 feet away. So we wear this to protect ourselves. There's shocks in this thing that could shoot off and hit us. So it's all just about safety for us.
That bumper could
Well, and I guess we need to keep in mind too that this is a very controlled demonstration, but a lot of times when you're doing this, it's probably just chaotic. I mean, maybe an accident that has just happened involving more
So
than
there's a
one.
lot of danger out there, not just with the car, but with other cars out on the freeway or out on the city streets. So what we use is we use our engines and our trucks to block traffic. So we may be only reacting to an accident in one lane, but we may take 3 lanes of traffic, and that's why we do it. It's just to keep us safe and to keep that, like we said earlier, drunk driver who may be following and they get attracted to lights and keep them from coming into us.
You have to be so focused on what they're doing. It's like you can't be glancing over your shoulder. Oh, is there more traffic coming? Is there a big truck coming? Is somebody maybe not paying attention? I mean, you just have to keep that flow of traffic away from them because they're so focused on what they're doing here and the people inside the vehicle that they can't be looking out for other dangers that might be coming down the road or happening behind their back.
Yeah. It's definitely something that we need to be careful of because we are focused. We want to make sure we give all our attention to that patient. And we're not taking lanes just to, cause more traffic. We're doing it for a reason to keep ourselves safe. So As you can see, they're rolling that dash and they're getting a ton of lift off of it right now, just on that one side. Now there's times where the accident is so bad that the car is so bad that a lot of times we'll call a second truck out. And the truck, the one with the big ladders on it, they carry all these extrication tools. So we'll call them out. Maybe they'll be working on one side and we'll be working on the other. And we can roll this whole dash over on top of itself if we did a cut on this side and had a second set of tools working on this side.
And again, the importance of rolling back the dash is just how a lot of these accidents happen when somebody is, maybe can't get out because it's been crunched and there's just not room to extract them, or maybe their feet are somehow trapped inside. So this is something that you need to do quite often on it, is just roll that dash back and create a little, the ability to extract them from the vehicle.
Yeah, rolling the dash is something that is very common in accidents with us. Obviously, the most common is popping a door off to help somebody get out. But usually, if they can't get out themselves, there's a reason. That's because they've gotten themselves trapped by getting the dash pushed down onto them. So what they're going to do, they got that other side propped up, and what they're going to do now is basically do another relief cut on this side and switch tools out, and then roll this side up too, and I'll show you how far up we can lift this dash if we had to.
Again, while we're watching, the kids dance for your life jacket competition is going to happen right after this is over. So kids, if you want to get involved in that, just be ready to come up on the stage as soon as this is over with. You don't really have to have any talent or dancing skills. I can testify to that firsthand. You just want to come up and have a great time, and we'll be giving away some life jackets as prizes.
So what they did is they disconnected our hydraulic hose, because that ram is already extended to its max thing, and by disconnecting it, it still holds that hydraulic fluid in there and allows it to hold it in position. And now we can use both hoses again and all the tools except for that ram. And we carry 3 different size rams depending on what space we have to get into.
Yeah, but I understand we have some great comments for those who are watching our live feed on our Facebook channel right now. OES on Facebook, Cal OES on our Facebook page. So for those of you who are watching on Facebook, thank you. And again, a reminder, we'll be down here in Old Sacramento until 2 o'clock today. Completely free family fun event. Come on down and join us until 2 o'clock for our 13th annual California Day of Preparedness. We always kind of assume that there's a great sense of urgency when these happens, and I know that there is, but you've touched on this over and over again. Really, for you guys, the overriding factor is safety.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, our number one priority is getting the person out of the vehicle as quickly and safely as possible so that we can get them treated and get them to the hospital. But we also have to put our safety, because if we get hurt, we're not going to be there to help you guys, and it takes one of us out of the game. And as you can see, it takes all of us to get a job like this done, and that's why we run with 4 people on the truck.
Do you rotate? You talk about every guy has their own task and their own mission. Do you rotate those around, or do you always do the same? The guys always do the same things every time you do this?
We're all cross-trained, so if I needed to, I could go do one of the firefighters' jobs, or A.O. Birmingham could do one of their jobs, and they could do mine, but we stick to our role that we're assigned. So I'm always the safety, I'm always the overhead, and then he's always the stabilization guy, and the other guys hold their positions. And that just allows for us all to know what each of us are doing and what we specialize in. So what they're doing now is they're going to lift this side of the dash with just a different method. We have other ramps, but they're smaller. We used our biggest one on that side, so what we can do is we can stick our spreaders in and actually use it just like the ramps used. We just have to create a purchase point and get it in solid and then start lifting.
You don't have anything to put a...
There it goes. And the one big thing that all of us have to be aware of is as we make one side of the car move or make a change in one side of the car, we got to always watch, see how it's going to affect the other side of the car, because that brace over there is holding up that side, but as this side lifts, it's going to change the positioning. So we just position people on both sides and see how it's going to go.
And this car is nice. So as you say, everyone is different, so I guess there has to, in a way, be an immediate strategy when you come upon a scene of how you're going to...
They all have a game plan.
Thank you guys very, very much.
Nice work.
Where's my phone charger?
Yeah, those are. No, those are just girls.
Here comes Dart.
So we remind you the good declarations we can
Sit though. I broke my...
Flip on the
Good afternoon again, folks. Thanks so much for coming out to California's Day of Preparedness here in Sacramento. We're so happy to have you over here. We're the Sacramento Drowning Accident Rescue Team. We're Sacramento County's all-volunteer nonprofit water rescue unit. We've been serving the community since 1980 now. Today we're going to tell you a little bit about water safety, what to do if you find yourself in distress, which is what we're rescue water practice involved. Before we get started on that, we want to talk about some general water safety. One of the most important things with distress that you have to do is water. out on the water, these are things that the United States Coast Guard. The rescues you'll see today simulate scenarios where somebody may not be wearing a life jacket. For whatever reason, somebody is probably going to yell at Discovery Corps. That was prior to our involvement in that program in 2015, one of the highest drowning spots in the county and in the state. 11 drownings per year on average in that spot. Since we've had our team out there, both effecting rescues and more importantly educating the public on wearing life jackets, safety on the water, we've dropped that down to only one recreational drowning in the last 2 years. So that's a statistic we're proud of. We're proud of the community for embracing water safety and understanding their role in the state. We do have some beautiful rivers and waterways in Sacramento County. We're very proud of that. But with that comes responsibility for the state. We should be getting ready and starting to rescue this side of the ag. We'll deploy that out. In this case, you can see we have two. We always work with the backup with this sort of work so that if the first responder rescue type isn't able to catch the distress member with a bag, it has somebody able to first get out. So as they bring the swimmer in here, you'll see them on her back. She has the advantage that, as you can see, she's wearing a life jacket. She really has little to be concerned about her. If you were not wearing a life jacket, however, this could be an incredibly dangerous situation. So as the swimmer starts to get closer to our rescue technician on the shore, you can see he's preparing his throw bag there. He has only a finite window when he can send the bag to the swimmer, so he's waiting until the opportunity.
I'm gonna throw you a rope. Hold on to it.
So you can hear he's communicating with the swimmer. It's very important that when we're effecting a rescue, you cooperate with the rescue personnel.
Here it comes, grab it.
And there you go. You can see you pulling the rope there. And she's got it. Excellent.
Lay on your back. Hold on.
All right. And the rescue technician is going to go ahead and pull her to shore here.
Control for alligators.
And a pendulum or in this case, just bring her right to shore.
Like we used to do to you when you were a kid.
And those are the rescues we most commonly effect, especially off to Scornia Beach and other.
Braxton, you got your camera with you?
My phone?
Okay.
You should call the fire department. Something's wrong.
Double drownings where somebody attempts to save someone else and attempting to reach out to them, throw something out to them before you get in the water yourself. Okay, so you can see we have a swimmer in the water here. He's struggling a little bit. He's in the middle of the river. The river's moving pretty quick here, so this is a stressful situation. Fortunately, see we have our jet ski coming up. We're going to come up with a little bit of speed here. Come on around. You can see they're getting a weight. That's not working over there. Coming up, coming down to his side, so they can use the current, bring him up onto the board here. You can see the second swiftwater rescue technician is getting onto the back of the ski. He's going to pull him up onto the other
9,
side.
engine 50, medic 50, medical alarm 7927, Spring Garden Way.
This is a
Medical alarm
challenging maneuver.
7927, Spring Garden Way.
As you know, none of us
Battalion 9, engine 51, medic 50, fire map 251, Alpha 3, operations Alpha 3. First unit closely to the pursuit.
There you go, he's going to hold it in place there. And as you're doing that, the rescue technicians assess the patient, seeing whether they're breathing, whether they're unable to absorb the stress. And those are being there you go, a successful rescue.
Oh, do they?
That's good.
Did you find the copper hill?
I bet it's so funny how many stands PGD stands set up.
I hear some a little familiar.
that snorkel? See the snorkel drop down? We drop these on fire.
And here comes the best part.
The helicopter breaks down and crashes into the water.
Hey, that's copter 2.
That's copter 1.
No, I mean, I'm talking about the ones that crash.
Copter
Here they come. Ready for some siren activation.
Come skin, Brad.